Yes.
Oh, look, my
Yeah.
volume was what? This is TikTok Live for season 2.
I get to be the first.
We do have other ones coming. You're just the first one.
I like being the first. Makes me special. Yeah.
Always.
Well, welcome guys to the book match. We're so excited you're here, everybody. This is, like I said, our first TikTok Live interview this season. We did do one last season, and Miranda and I were like, why don't we offer this all the time?
Yeah.
And so that's why we're doing it. I was really locked out. Anyway. So for those of you who don't know us, my name's Ashley. This is my sister Miranda, and we are the Book Mash. We sit down with amazing authors, big and small, and talk to them about their journeys, their books, and all things them. Sometimes it ends up being about me and Miranda, and but we're so excited we're here. So, Samantha, for those of you who don't know Samantha, or for those who don't know you, oh my land, that's already going. Can you introduce yourself for the people and tell them who you are and what you write and all of the things?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Samantha Vargas. I go by Sam, but my author name is Samantha. I'll take both if I have to. But yeah, I am a fantasy author. That's my preferred genre. Try sometimes to sneak into like contemporary, and then it turns fantasy, and I'm like, well, I guess I'm stuck here. I just published my debut novel, but I have like 30 million things in the background that have been like written over the years. So I've got like extensive writing experience, I would say.
Yeah.
You did have Sam on last year, when you were still still a work in progress.
It was with the editor,
Right.
impatiently waiting for her.
No, and we were so excited. Still, I don't know how. I was sitting there looking at my Kindle last night, and I was like, how did I not see that it was in my library?
Right. I know.
So I'm like, well, now I really feel like a jerk because it's sitting there, but I don't know how I missed it. But it's there, so I'm getting there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Never ending TBRs.
I know. Most of what's behind me has not been read. I'm like, I buy it so that way it can look pretty on my shelf. And then I look at it. I'm like, do I want to read that or do I want to go find something brand new? I get it.
I don't, because I think, well, I had to like download it through Book Funnel, and I'm like, I don't remember how I like forgot that it was there, because Miranda and I were dying to read it when we were talking about it.
Right. I
Really.
think we both when we took our break from like recording and stuff, like I took a break from reading too. And I think it was during that time that it like came from the arc. And then when I jumped back in, I wasn't really reading arcs. I was just reading whatever like sounded good at the time. So I think that's what made it so I didn't pick it up yet.
I have learned to maybe avoid publishing so close to the holidays.
Well, yeah.
Essentially, first book learnings right there. Avoid
Yeah.
Christmas.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. Lesson learned.
With us, we're teachers too, so you'd think that'd be like a popular time.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Matt said not just do it around the holiday. So see, for some of us, it works. It's not where.
I think it just depends.
We are very sorry that we didn't read it.
That's
But we will. We will.
Yeah,
fair. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into some icebreaker warm-up questions. What is your current writing snack or drink?
Oh, man. Well, coffee. I did not used to drink coffee, and I have become an avid coffee drinker. So that has become, I need coffee with me at all times. It's probably because of the gremlins I also have that exist out there, but adding this on is like an extra task. Drink that coffee.
Get that caffeine in.
I don't snack though, because I'm usually just going. My snack would just sit there, and I don't need dirty keyboards.
Yeah.
Not
I
mine.
couldn't imagine some authors like keyboards when they're eating while they're typing.
Like, eat a Cheeto and get it onto my keyboard. Share it for later.
No, I can't deal with 30.
We have my computer little duster.
Oh, there you
here,
go.
though, just to make
Yeah.
sure.
Spray the air through.
Yeah,
Good.
let it back into the air.
I'd much rather breathe it than touch it.
Like,
And then you're sitting there like jamming the key.
That's fair. It's like, I need my J to work.
Right?
Oh, and I can't.
Who knew I used this letter so much?
I think I used J too many times in this sentence. So which guardian would survive in a zombie apocalypse? Which one would hide under the bed?
Oh man. So I'm pretty sure all of them would, because I mean, they're not zombies per se in my book, but they're like a dead army. So they've all survived so far.
So far.
They're trained to be warriors. So if one of them hid under the bed, I'd be really worried about them.
You guys were supposed to be like battling.
Yeah, what are you
Yes.
doing? Get it together.
Get out there. Get into the fray. What's wrong with you? Oh my goodness. Well, if you've read Guardians of Alistile and you think someone might hide under the bed, let us know in the chat. It would be interesting to see what you guys think.
Fair.
Let's talk about Riverstorm. So we have Kiana and the Guardians, unaware of their magic, their lineage. They're standing to protect the barrier, but then the rebel army forms. How did you come up with the epic conflict? I know last time we talked with you, you said it was something that you developed when you were younger and you built it into something bigger. And right now, I'd say it's better because it's published. But what really drew you to the conflict parts of the story?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the conflict goes, that just really developed, I think, over the years, where when I first started writing, it was just like trying to run away from like a demon army. And there's like no rhyme or reason. It was just there. And then as I started learning how to write and sort of plot, we're going to say sort of plot because we still pantsed our way through it. There needed to be reasons, and I needed like a villain to really have a good hold. So, I mean, I had like a dream one night, like many, many years ago, that like formed my villain and formed Riverstorm and like what that was. And then I was like, well, there's got to be a reason and a way to get out of that. So that's where I had like, there's got to be someone trying to break her out because there's no way to get out unless somebody knows. So who else to know besides someone who's outside?
Ashley Mist, the fantasy author, said, I was literally reading it and decided to take a TikTok break.
Yes, great timing. You just knew. You had a feeling. It was a great time to get on TikTok.
A little inkling called you this way.
Could be the tags, too. So you mentioned that you love to talk about the egg behind writing. What sparked the story? Kind of talk about it a little bit. But
yeah, I mean, so I wrote all the time when I was in my teenage years, and I had like basketball practice at 6 a.m. every morning. And so I had to get up pretty early, and I would just find myself up at like 4:30 in the morning, and I would just get up, go sit at a computer. I just kind of like wrote. I didn't have any plans for it. I just wrote. And then I loved like movies like Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia. So I kind of started with that premise. And then I tried to turn it into my own like creative storyline that didn't like copy what they were doing. So like cut all that. That sounds too similar. And then like add all these extra layers. So, I mean, that's kind of like the inspiration behind everything. And the little funny tidbits of being a teenager trying to create a whole world.
I love that. I love that you've taken something from when you were growing up and turning it into something so much like more advanced and changing the wording and growing the world. And we know that there's so many more books that are going to come along with it. So I think that's super, super cool.
Yeah. Six. As I'm like pulling my hair out, be like, oh, I'm going to write 6 books.
you got it.
You got it.
I'm almost done with the 3rd, so that's only 3 left, right?
Yeah, almost halfway there. On a prayer, right?
And what I did as teenagers was made choreographed dance.
I think about that all the time.
I did that too. I was very into my Hannah Montana stage back then. Honestly, I very much so remember watching their movie and trying to do that line dance thing that she
Oh my goodness. Yeah, we were like B2K kind of dream.
Oh yeah. I did a talent show to an NSYNC song. Couldn't tell you what the dance moves were now, but
you might be able to jump right back in there if you really thought about it. That's
just
muscle memory.
It was 3rd grade though. 4th grade. That was a while back.
We had to try 2.5 hours yesterday to watch a cheer competition. Well, not Miranda. Because my husband, me, my daughter, and my son On the way home, it's like 11 o'clock, and I'm driving, and I'm like exhausted. I turn on Aaron Carter, and I'm sitting here doing all the dance moves that my sister and I used to do. My husband's like, I cannot do this.
Loved Aaron Carter, though. I just did it to make you happy. I could not stand listening to that over and over and over again. Ashley was obsessed. It was horrible.
I like a good Aaron Carter.
He had a song called I Want Candy. And instead of singing I Want Candy, I would sing I Want Aaron.
You still do. What do you mean?
I did it yesterday. And my husband's like, this is the most disgusting thing ever. I'm like, well, I got to stay awake somehow.
If it works.
Interview today. And I'm sitting here singing an Aaron Carter song.
Flashbacks.
We gotta feel young somehow.
Well, yeah, true. All right, well, our guardians, they each represent something unique. Can you share what each of them embodies?
Yeah, it's 5 of them. So let me think real hard on all 5. Questions like this make me regret creating so many characters. It'd be easier if I had 2, but I'll start with kind of like the easier one. So Danik is kind of like my softer, like golden retriever character, where he really just embodies like being able to look past a lot of like darkness and trying to bring in the light. His magic is very much so light type of magic. So he can do healing, he does illusions, but he uses his illusions for like fireflies and music. So it's just very happy-go-lucky. And then I would say Moira is more of like that nurturing character. So she kind of embodies like that motherly, caring for everybody type of character. And then these are my more complex characters, Brone, Kiana, and Viola, because they all kind of embody something similar, but they take it in different ways. Whereas like Kiana has a lot of like the trauma and she cares, but she's trying to keep it all like within herself to not get anybody else hurt. And she's got like this leadership role, and it's trying to decipher how do you lead people when you're just really trying not to hurt anybody. And then Viola's got like the trauma of like parent issues, and she's trying to work through that, and she embodies, like a lot of the more negative emotions and traits where it's like jealousy and hatred and trying to like work through that. And how do you develop as a character when you have traits like that? And then Brone is kind of like that. He's not necessarily jealous per se, but he does have that embodiment of fairness and being just. So when he sees things that are, not fair, he'll call it out. But then he also brings some of the levity in, where it's like, okay, you can take things seriously, but also like, it's not that serious. Calm down.
I think the Guardians, when we talked the first time, were like the part that I was most intrigued about.
Yeah.
About 5 minutes.
I mean, the world building itself is intriguing.
Yeah. I like my world.
I hope so.
That's fair. He's like, oh, gotta go.
Yeah.
I made it. My doohickeys.
The doohickeys, yes.
I'm so proud of you. What is it like seeing Risen from Ash out in the world?
Oh, man, it's terrifying. It's like in a good way though, because I spent so long. Like, it honestly wouldn't have taken me 15 years to write if I had the confidence to say, like, you can do something with this. And now that I have, it's kind of like, oh, you did it. People like it. You can do it. So this is like your thing now. This is who you are. So now I have to be this, which is fine. This is who I wanted to be. But it's like terrifying where you're putting your whole soul into the world,
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because it happened the way it should have. Because when we were younger, like when you were first writing this, publishing it yourself would have been so much more difficult and really not really heard of back then. You know what I mean? So having the ability to know what you know now and to be able to put it out there as an indie author, and even with social media and things like that, you can reach so many more people. So maybe it just happened the way it was supposed to.
I think so. And honestly, it's like, back then I probably wouldn't have met all the people that I've met. So I really do look at it like that, where it's just like, this is just timing. This is what the world wanted. And I got to meet all my friends, and I wouldn't have changed it for sure.
Brooke said that she's glad you got the confidence to share it with us. So you're doing something.
Right.
Well, you had ARC readers for the first book. Are there any that surprised you or touched you with their reactions?
I think like the ones that like pinpoint like certain quotes where there's like, oh, I felt this one on my like in my soul. Whereas like I wrote it because it's meant to be like something that the characters say, but then when it touched their soul and they actually shared a specific quote where it's like, I needed this today, I think that was more surprising, where it's not just like a I love this yada yada and then keep going. So those are like heartwarming.
And it's always the quotes that you don't anticipate people will pull out.
It is.
They're like, I feel like this is going to be a highlightable quote. I'm writing this, and then it's something completely different. You're like, really? That touched you? Like, I did not expect that.
That's the one that got you? I'm shocked.
I said, hey guys, so I said hi. Have readers' reactions ever shifted the way
Can you repeat that question one more time?
Have readers' reactions ever shifted the way you think about your story or your character?
Not incredibly too much. I think mainly because I already know who my characters are, like on the deepest level of 16 years, where it's like we live in each other's heads. So it's not that they like shifted it per se, but it is like it's not my main characters, I think. Like the funniest thing that I've noticed is I have a side character in my book who shows up twice. 2 chapters he gets, and it's like so minimal, but readers like latched on to him and it's hilarious. So maybe that's a good one where it's like, oh, maybe it shifted, like I should write more of this side character because people like him so much. That's probably a good example of that.
Yeah, it's always the side characters.
It is. It's like this guy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Talon. Yeah, it's Talon.
That is funny. I love how people in the comments are like picking out exactly what Sam's talking about. That's awesome. Let's look at some of the deeper themes. So Riverstorm and Alistile feel so alive. How do you balance the world building with all of the emotional arcs that you have with your characters?
Well, it helps having a lot of characters because you don't have to focus on one arc for each person. And then you get to take perspectives of the world building through that specific character's point of view. So it's like if I'm telling it through Brone's point of view, he's not going to focus very heavily on like the beauty of the nature or anything like that. Like he cares more about like strength and what keeps things held together. So it's like I have a scene in my book where they get to this big elvish city and it's like these immaculate trees and he's just kind of like, they built tree houses. Like, what is this? You know? So it's like you balance it just by being able to tell it through different perspectives and then weave it into how their character arcs flow.
I couldn't world build to save my life.
No.
You could. It just takes some time.
No.
It's keeping it straight. That's the thing. Once you get a map in place, then you could just like do little doodles and be like, this lives here. Just separate them.
Sam, I'm a preschool teacher. My doodles consist of stick figures and I don't even know how to say it, like non-proportionate shapes.
Would work. I mean, if it works for you, if it makes sense in your brain.
Yeah. Let the preschoolers help you. Like have them draw
There you
pictures
go.
and then like mesh it together and then you've world built.
Nice. That's an idea. That's
Like
actually
Sam.
kind of cool. I like
Very
that.
Brooke says she loves the Treehouse Kingdom.
We all do. It's got floating islands.
I want a floating island. How do I get me?
Magic, perhaps.
I like magic. So divine feminism and breaking barriers are big parts of your story. How have readers responded to it?
I think like pulling out like creativity from characters and not just focusing on like specific people being badasses already and they're just like, oh, I'm just it's a strong warrior and that's who I am. Pulling in creativity of like my characters like to paint and build, like wood carve, like those are really big themes in my book and I think it helps just bring some of that extra life to them where they don't have to be warriors. They can be other things and they want to be. And it just helps with some of that extra character arc, I think, for sure. And then breaking barriers, it's not just breaking out of like a tyrannical kingdom. It's also like breaking the barriers like within yourself because we all put them up, you know, we all push people away or we, you know, hold up certain viewpoints of the world and breaking through that and being able to see through a different lens, I think is really important.
My bookish Odyssey said, I find world building to be such an important part of a fantasy book, and Sam nailed it.
It helps to keep the world small. Keep it small. Don't build continents. Build just one little place.
There you go. Yeah.
Nothing extravagant. You draw your maps.
Just to
Draw
make
your
it make
maps.
sense.
Draw your maps so you know what direction you're walking in.
Awesome. Well, we heard you say that you are currently almost done with book 3. So what's coming next for you? We have more from the Guardians, New Worlds entirely.
Yep. So we are definitely doing the Guardians. They stay in their world. They move on to different things as they're trying to figure out their place in the world. So book 2 is already done. I finished my edits. It needs to go to my editor now. So we're hoping to publish again this year, probably late summer, early fall, just to be mindful of like her timeline with editing and book cover. That was my biggest thing this year with this book is like book cover took forever and I was like pulling my hair out being like, I set my date already.
I remember seeing that.
I know. It was stressful, but we got it. And so I've learned my lesson. So we set publish date after I have my book cover. So that's going to happen this year. And then book 3, I'm just working through re-edits. And then I'm aiming for 1 a year. And then I have like side projects. So we'll see. Guardians takes a lot of time because it is the world building.
Yeah, I imagine.
And eventually, the world expands. That's not a spoiler. It's fine. But it will expand and we'll see other places. I have to build those lands and kind of build out what happens there. 6 books. So I'll be around for at least 6 years.
At least.
Glad. We're so glad.
So we have some questions for the viewers. So get your keyboards ready to answer the questions. We're curious on what you say. If the Guardians had modern superpowers, which would be your favorite? Sam, you can answer too if you want.
Modern superpowers. Man, this is hard because I love like every superhero that ever exists. I'm very privy to like Thor and his hammer. I just like having a hammer that concontrols the weapon.
Right? Yeah, Thor is super cool. I agree. All right, here's another one for our listeners. Dreamcasting. If Risen from Ash was a show tomorrow, who do you think would play Kiana? And you can answer too, Sam, of course.
I can't answer that question. I keep getting asked that question. I'm going to let the chat do that if they want to, but I keep getting asked that question. I'm just like, I never did the like mood boards where you go and find like people to kind of base it off of. I just built them. And then every time I go and I look for like actors and things like that, none of them are good enough.
I love it.
It sounds so bougie, but
because you've built by yourself in your head. You didn't have inspiration by looking at somebody. So
right. Yeah,
so
you want to
look at a
do
person.
Your character justice. You don't want to sell them short. So
yeah.
Brooke said Brown would be Deadpool adjacent in character.
That's fair.
I love Deadpool. And Brooke also said, I'm not sure about Kiana, but can Talon be Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill. That would be awesome.
I'm gonna be all fancy with the name.
See, I would take like a Chris Hemsworth. I mean, that's also my love for Thor.
To say, I think that
obsessed with Thor, and he did Thor justice. So I mean, it works for me. It works. He'd probably play Broden for sure. Oh yeah, Ella would be like Poison Ivy. I bet that.
Let's see.
Oh yeah, we can see them. I don't know if they come in like as quickly as yours do, but
I'm not sure either.
We just come up with them. Come on, guys.
Graphic. Like, if I had to cast Marvel actors in my book, this is who would play who. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, chat, this is the time for you to add your questions in. We'd love to see what you want to know, what you want to ask Sam. So drop them in the comments. We're so excited. I was seriously so upset last night when I saw that it was there and I missed it. So I was like, well, we're moving that over this way.
Right.
The good news is that it's there. So we'll look at the silver lining there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miranda and I were actually just talking about it the other day, weren't we? We're like, I don't remember if it was like the other day or like before. What books have you read recently that impact your writing positively?
That's a good question.
I mean, this is probably like a cop-out, but I'm reading The Hobbit right now. And of course, I love The Lord of the Rings. So of course, it impacts my writing, but I would say, man, I got to look at my bookshelf. This is terrible too. Last year was actually my very first year reading the entire Hunger Games series, all 5 books, read them all last year. I would say that that's done a pretty good job for impacting my writing. It helps me kind of like pinpoint like a good villain and a good villain arc. And that's really like what I used the Hunger Games for, is to kind of help me guide my villain. So that's probably like It's all 5 books. I'm counting all 5 of them.
Yeah.
All 5 of them. That's what I read.
I mean, I still haven't read all of them, so.
I haven't read all the Hunger Games either.
The first 3 are the best. I will say that. The second 2 are like just backstory things. So it's like you could do without, but also they're like, I still thought they were pretty decent. Kind of slower, but decent.
I remember when they first started coming out, my friends and I went to, like, the movies were coming out. My friends and I would go to the movies, and I think it was the 3rd one, and they're like, you cannot come with us until you read the 3rd book. And I'm like, I ain't reading Jack.
She did not read back then, so that was a no-go.
And I was like, well, I guess I'm not going with you. So, and I didn't go with them because they wouldn't let me.
Hilarious.
And I still haven't read the 3rd one.
Right?
I don't remember. I think that was the only question in there. So, Sam, thank you so much for joining us for the 2nd interview. We love having you. When Miranda and I saw your name on the list, we're like, heck yeah, let's go.
Yes.
Let's do it. Because I actually had a book this time.
Well, you had a book last time.
I had a book published this time. I have like a
There you
physical
go.
one. See, I even brought it. It's here.
Pretty.
Earlier, I loved the cover of it.
Last time I was just like, I have nothing to show you because I don't have anything tangible, but it exists in the world and I'm going to tell you about it.
I think it existed last time.
It exists for readers this time.
Where is the list?
Which list?
I don't know. What list?
The blacklist.
The list for what? My grocery list is on the fridge.
Maybe, are you talking about to sign up?
Sign up. Thank you. Look at you,
That's
Miranda.
why we keep you around.
Yeah.
So, because Ashley doesn't remember anything. If you are interested in coming on the Book Mash, whether you do a recorded interview, a written interview, or a TikTok live interview, there is a link in our bio. It takes you to a form with some questions. Make sure you go fill it out. We are always accepting authors to come on. We love talking to people, especially authors like Sam that we've already had, and want to talk to her more because she's amazing. So, you want?
I'll take your groceries.
I
Is it okay to say okay, so we would love to have everybody on like nonstop, but it's just not feasible. We both have full-time jobs. So if you don't get an email right away to come on written TikTok, we use Riverside for recorded. Don't get discouraged. We will have you on. It just might take some time because
And
there's
we're-
only 2 of us and there's like over 180 submissions so far. So just be patient.
That's good for y'all, though.
It's amazing.
not.
And then I don't think could ever thought that it would have done this.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome.
So thanks, Sam, for being a part of it. We absolutely love you, love everything that you do. Before we go, will you tell everybody where they can find you and your books and your socials and all the fun things?
Yes, so you can find me here on TikTok at Samantha Vargas 2014 or on Instagram. Don't ask me why it's like this, but it's shorter. It's at Sam Vargas 2014. I have an identity crisis. I don't know who I am. Those are the main socials. If you want to find my book, it is on Amazon and KU. Barnes & Noble, Walmart, Books A Million, all those big retail stores. Online, not in the bookstores. Or you can go to my website, and I will have signed copies on there.
I need to go that way. Need to go on our shelf.
Yes.
This is worthy for a shelf. Even if
It
the
is.
story was terrible, that's like, it's not
Very
terrible.
shelf.
Not terrible. It definitely deserves a spot on the shelf.
Yes.
This is our book match shelf.
I love the book shelf.
It's a pretty shelf.
Yeah.
I used to have it like over onto the side, and I was like, nobody gets to see the book mash shelf. So I moved it. Not that you can see it with my big wide body now, but I can move. Make sure that you guys go follow Sam. We are so blessed to be a part of her journey. We love her so much. If you loved us, make sure you follow us. We're going to be live, I think, once a week for the next
2 or 3 weeks now. Yeah, we've got one scheduled. So
if you, like I said, if you're an author and you want to come on, make sure that you head to our bio and fill out the form so that you can have a spot like Sam. To make sure you follow us or share us with everybody. If I could talk, I can't.
yeah, you'll get there.
And we'll see you next week, guys. Sam, thank you so much for being here. Miranda's shooting you an email in just a second. Have a good day, you guys.
Thanks, everyone.